Hey everybody, this is your pal Drew, and this is part two of examination of a great artist, Bill Everett. I'm following his career through the decades, and this is the best I can think of right now. He's probably done some other work after Daredevil #1, but the thing is, Daredevil 1 was a year late. It was supposed to come out the same month as X-Men #1, so it didn't come out till a year later. So Avengers filled that gap. They just took known quantities of superheroes and put them out there, and so it wasn't necessarily something that Stan or anybody was demanding to have a team yet, but it worked. I mean, it was great. And Daredevil was a year late, but these things happen. But after that, for a while, Bill Everett was sort of persona au gratin. That means unwelcome cheese with Stan and the others, because they don't want to wait another year for a second book of anything that he would draw. And he ended up doing a lot of inking, and little by little, Roy Thomas, who just got hired around 65, I think, late 65, he championed Bill Everett. Roy Thomas was a huge Golden Age fan, and got to meet him. They got to be friends on a personal level. And little by little, Bill was kind of coming back to Marvel again. His main problem that had contributed to his lateness was, unfortunately, he battled the bottle for a lot. For most of the remaining years of his life, he was, it was just throwing his career away. But it was, it was hard because Roy loved him so much, and other people loved him too, and he couldn't go straight for a long time. So now I'm going to follow up with what he did after Daredevil, which came out in '64. I'm trying to see what month this is out. I think it's, hang in there. I usually tell you the issue in pages in order. Come on, Drew, screw it. Anyway, he came back doing some piecemeal work, and he got to do an issue of Doctor Strange, who split the book with Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. There you see the scripts by Stan, except for like halfway of it, and then halfway through the book, Denny O'Neil comes along, which is interesting because a lot of times you use the nom de plume Sergius O'Shaughnessy as a because he didn't want DC to know that he was working for them also. He was just kind of a new kid on the block. But it says art Bill Everett, and so it's the whole, all the art is from him. It's really, really interesting. This is the very first issue after Ditko left. Very first issue after he left. And this wasn't entirely a bad choice, because Everett could do that otherworldly stuff. There's these are actually, some of these I think are just photostated from before when Ditko was doing this. Maybe Bill Everett was getting his sea legs. Okay, I gotta stop these stupid puns. And then another one. That's pretty. I love that dropout there. Dropouts are when you have ink lines or going into black, but they cut short, and that's just really cool stuff. And this is a total Bill Everett project, art-wise. Okay, I'll just jump to this. If Kalu should triumph. And, 10, is it 12 pages a month? 10 or 12 pages a month is a real agreeable, there's an Everett Fate. It's a real agreeable sort of deadline. And that's when you got the Jim Starankos and the others do, month after month, because they only had to do 10 or 12 pages. So that gets taken care of there. Yet another one. I think her face, Umar, I think that's a Bill Everett cover. Yeah, I think so. Um, I love that. I love that so much. And he's picking up all the Ditko stuff that was there. It's just got that really unique charm to it that he brings to Doctor Strange. And Umar's pissed. I love the mindless ones. They hinted at them. I think in the second Doctor Strange movie, they were implied, and I'd love to see them look pretty much like this. But I think they were purple because it was in the purple realm. That is magnificent splash page. So you see, Bill still got it. He knows what he's doing, and he's trying to, what do you call it? He's trying to go back into his own style and get away from Ditko. Transition is the word. That's a great panel there. And again, it's like 5 issues in a row. Wow, that's great upside. I love that page. So Everett was proving he can be reliable again. Very inventive. I mean, Ditko is Ditko, but, and he's great at what he does, but they wanted to keep the strip going, and just kind of like when Jack Kirby left, when he left Fantastic Four, John Romita, the art director, said, well, we got to cancel the book, right? And Ditko left Spider-Man, and he says, I think it was Roy Thomas who thought it had to be canceled. I'm not sure. So, in all these 3 cases, they kept the strips running. He's definitely picking up that Ditko vibe, because that's how we're portrayed before. And they're just plain fun, those guys. All they do is fight and zap each other with their eye beams. I don't know when they eat. I don't think they eat or sleep or anything. Just really cool stuff. See? These little SOBs. Whoa, 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 whoa. Oh, okay. I guess he wanted to blend in with the mindless ones. I haven't read this in a while, so you'll have to excuse me. Next, the death of Clea. Clea must die. Now, this is Marie Severin. They transitioned over to Marie Severin. I don't know if it was a blown deadline situation, but it may be that he just wanted to ink for a while. He'd proven he could do this kind of stuff, and again, I don't know how much alcohol had to do with his on and off again performances, and I'm not going to make any conjectures about it. But yeah, it was terrible. He did hop over to Tales to Astonish, and there's Submariner and the Hulk, and that's a cover, I think, laid out by Kirby, yeah, and inked by Bill Everett. You can just tell by the lines. The faces especially give it away. Now, it's really weird. He moves over to Tales to Astonish like a month or 2 later, and he's not drawing Namor. Now, Gene Colan was the regular artist on the comic, and this was a fill-in by Jack Kirby because Gene got the flu. Sorry. Just have to move that big old omnibus without knocking everything around. So it must have been weird for Bill to see that he wasn't doing that. But as far as I know, there's been no known complaint about it. However, he's doing the Hulk half of the book. It's like, what a trip. I mean, wow. And these are most definitely layouts by Jack Kirby because Bill Everett makes the art his own. He tends to draw the Hulk kind of like Mike Sikowski did in the Justice League. It's like kind of wide, kind of like a dad who, back then would eat steak every night, and, eat a lot of steaks and get that middle section. You can still be muscular, but you have that you still got that tummy. Or just here we go. There is Boomerang, funniest name ever. He came around during it came out during one of the issues, but he never had a boomerang. He had these little discs that he threw, and he was a former baseball player, so he got good with throwing stuff. Everett also did finishes over Jack on the legendary Hulk versus Hercules story that appeared, I think, in the first Hulk Treasury edition, and then later in the reprint title Marvel Superheroes. So, good stuff. It's just so odd. Well, guess what? He was back in business around the same time, shortly after. This is reprints some name or appearances in order, like Daredevil and stuff. And Gene Colan was doing the art, and Vinnie Coletta just murdered this friggin' art. He just murdered it. It took out all the depth and unique Colan movie style artwork. It just was dreadful. Okay, enough about Colan. And Vinny. With this issue, 2 months later, after what I just showed you, Bill comes on board as the inker, and Gene stays as penciler. I don't know if this reproduction is that good because it came out a while ago, and I think it was before they really, I don't know, that's pretty good there with the hair. Maybe not, I don't know. So you're seeing, it's like you have two different artists kind of working at cross purposes. And then I love this one. I'm going to start my stuff. And again, Bill Everett is still, I don't want to say just inking. He's a great inker, great finisher. And then, get the air out of the way. Then we go to this. He finally gets to do his Namor story, not just inking anymore, but penciling and inking. With Tales to Astonish 88. I love it. It's great. He's still got that cartoony style, which I think rubbed some fans the wrong way because they were used to the so-sophisticated art of other people in different, like John Buscema and all these others who are also great, but it's just, I don't know what, I think this stuff is amazing. The robot is really corny, but within a Bill Everett book, you just go with it. Beautiful line work. Bira. Man, more. That's murder. Lovely, lovely art. It's kind of a wacky pose there, but that's okay. For the most part, I don't know if Everett was big on doing splash pages. I mean, he did, but at least in the modern era. I could be wrong. I just didn't see that many in the early days because there weren't really any splash pages except for the first page. I'm talking backwards. I apologize. I'm distracted by this glorious artwork. And then it came over to Dan Adkins, who pencil inked and swiped a billion images. And he'd also moved on to Dan Adkins also moved over to Doctor Strange after both Bill and Marie Severin did the strip. This is part 2. I'm going to wrap it up right now, and I'll see you in a little bit.